The top reason for cloud to be big at the moment is, firstly, the speed at which you can access the application and access the IT environments, which a lot of customers, especially the small size customers, when they need it, they can always go to a third-party vendor, public cloud, and get that access. And secondly, in the same context, it is bringing the access to the computing resources to every person on the ground can readily have the access to the cloud. The third reason is in context of the private cloud, where a lot of companies are relooking at their data center architectures in terms of standardization, consolidation, and simplicity, and also to increase the utilization of the assets. So cloud offers all that.
The market maturity or capability of local customers and partners has reached to a level whereby we think we can bring cloud computing kind of initiatives into Pakistan. And today's event was one such effort of bringing in regional experience and exposure, learning from international and regional customers and bring that to Pakistan. So I think you can say cloud hype, but hype has now passed. Now the challenge is to develop and go on that roadmap towards cloud.
I wouldn't say it's a hype. There's a time in the evolution of the IT industry when there comes a certain level of maturity, and it is about that time. And you rightly said that Oracle has been somewhat working on cloud as long as they have been supporting the shared services, the three-tier architectures in the data centers. The idea behind cloud is that you create an environment which is shared across multiple users, and it can be accessed on demand, and it can be accessed readily. And the environment is automated enough and intelligent enough to scale as the demand increases. And you have the ability to charge your customer based on the consumption. Previously, IT has been a very much a fixed cost type of business. But with the cloud, what you add on top of the existing architectures is two abilities. Firstly, that as a cloud vendor or provider, you can do a chargeback or a charge based on the consumption. And the second thing is highly sophisticated automation, where a person, based on their requirements, can create the environment and functionality that they look the computers to provide. A lot of customers that we have surveyed, and especially the Oracle independent user groups that we have surveyed, the adoption of cloud is moving very fast on one end. About 30% user groups that we surveyed have already adopted cloud, and another 15% are in the planning of doing the adoption. Some of the customers who have shown there a little bit resistance, and which is natural at the start of any innovation, with the public cloud, not with the private cloud. With the public cloud is a bit of security concerns, a bit of quality of service concerns, a bit of concerns around the continuous operating costs. Obviously, there is an operating expenditure that is there, and these three factors have been some customers are showing there a bit of concerns.
Speaking, there are always requirements around reducing cost, increasing efficiency. These are two simple words, which in other sense, in business sense, it means that you have to increase your top line and reduce your expenses so that your bottom line also increases as well. So the expectation at business side is such that IT has to respond to these challenges in such a way that consolidation is there, and cloud computing is the phenomena after consolidation, whereby you have that agility in the business, whereby you can deploy solutions on the fly. Go-to-market time reduces. Cost of running businesses is decreasing by deploying on cloud computing. So I think local decision makers are understanding that now, and that is where they are putting pressure on IT and vendors like us as well at the same time.
Market, it has been one of the most successful products that Oracle has recently launched. A huge number of prospects, big names who have basically adopted the product as they go through the refresh cycle for their data center hardware requirements, they are looking this platform to be the standard. And they are looking at this platform to be a standard primarily for a few reasons. One, it is an pre-built integrated system in place where you get the storage, where you get the CPUs, the compute, the servers, and the database server technology all in one box. And in case of Exalogic, it takes to the application environments where you get the application server, where you get the virtualized edition of Java, and all come with a highly sophisticated storage, highly sophisticated CPUs with as much as anywhere from 96 cores to 360 plus cores, depending on what configuration you choose. So that's on a global scale. This, as I said earlier, the fastest growing product in the recent history. Locally, we also have gotten a huge traction. When I look at ASEAN as a market, we got some big names that have subscribed to the technology. One, just to share a few names, National Health Group in Singapore has been one of our customers, PS Bank in Philippines, Bank of Thailand, the State Bank of Thailand. So every country in ASEAN have subscribed to it. Even in Pakistan, we have some early adapters, and we are making good traction with them. There are quite a few vendors in Pakistan who have approached Oracle in their desire, some of the telcos, some of the ISPs and ASPs as well, of their desire to be able to put up a public cloud where they can offer services to the individuals, to the small businesses, even to the large enterprises. So that's one set of things I see that would go through the deployment phase, and within the next 1 to 2 years, we will see a very viable cloud vendor appearing, public cloud vendor appearing in Pakistan. But on the private cloud side of things, every large enterprise is looking at this as an initiative. And this is not something that they started looking just today or yesterday, because the way the data center architectures have been evolving, at one point in time they subscribed to grid as an architecture and started looking at consolidation as an exercise. So all that has been underway for some years now, where customers look at every other opportunity where they want to bring the siloed systems together. They want to create the clusters of those, subscribe to the grid architecture. So that has been the 70 to 80% of the journey. The two missing aspects have been into that architecture is firstly the ability to charge back, where you can truly manage and track the consumption, how much a given user has consumed the service. And secondly, the sophistication of self-provisioning and decommissioning of the resources when there is no more a need. So those features and those technologies are being deployed as we say today, and that would really revolutionize IT.
There are many referenceable customers, even not only in Pakistan but globally as well. Like all of the top notch, like we always say top 10 of the 10 in the in any industry, could be banks, telcos, healthcare, education. Same is the case in Pakistan. We can say that almost all the top tier of these industries in Pakistan, they are our customers. The value that Oracle brings on the table actually relates to that effect as well. Customers have confidence in us, and that is where we are actually helping them to not only achieve their business goals, but at the same time add value in the whole ecosystem by bringing in solutions which range from applications to engineered systems. I wouldn't say only disk, because there are other vendors who provide server storage as well, but what Oracle is bringing on the table is the engineered system capability, which is something that I think is now picking up in the market. Customers are realizing that engineering systems together is very important nowadays, which means that they had to first, previously they had to outsource it to somebody. There were like 2-3 vendors handling that. Now Oracle alone can handle that thing for them. So all in all, it is a value proposition not only for them but for us as well. So it turned out to be a good win-win situation for us.
So one example I took earlier in cloud context was the healthcare sector. Healthcare sector, many of the countries in the region, Thailand, Singapore, are looking to become the medical visiting centers, or what they call it, promoting the medical tourism. In context of that, they have formed clusters, specialties, interconnecting the clinics, etc. And cloud offers the best opportunity to create this shared infrastructure where various doctors are able to share information on the MRI images, on the X-rays, etc., and also share the patient records with each other. So with these countries appearing as the medical hubs, so healthcare is one of the sectors that is upcoming. The second sector, which is not really a commercial space, a lot of governments in the region are looking at creating this shared services infrastructure or cloud infrastructure. Governments, especially from the security concerns perspective, immigration, interior ministries, creating the citizen data hub, as well as being able to offer better services to their citizens. Passport controls I have seen with many governments in ASEAN where they have embarked on such initiatives, automating the passport aspect. Tax collection is another area. So other than healthcare sector, government has also been another very fastly growing sectors.
I think one of the biggest catalysts is definitely the challenge around cost. There is increased pressure from business side that you have to reduce cost per transaction for an IT system or a business transaction. So the cost of transaction has to be decreased, whereby at the same time you have to increase your presence, you have to open new channels so that you get more business. It is applicable to all industries, I would say. So main catalyst is this around this cost benefit. So if we say, like we shared in the morning as well, that it looks like that cloud is cheaper, but at the same time in the long run it may not be that cheaper as well. So you have to create a better mix to understand whereby you can add value through going for a cloud computing solution, whereby you can reduce cost upfront, but then at the same time you have to run your own private clouds as well, on-site setups, whereby you can actually have better control, compliance, because there is a cost around risk and security areas as well. So all in all, the catalysts are there. I mean, the demand is there.
I think generally I would say that as we have seen over years, cloud is not something that has happened recently. It has been an evolution of the data center. We moved from siloed system to the shared services system. We subscribed to the grid architecture. We brought the virtualization technologies and techniques. Because of the advancement in the technology, we sit at a point today where we can truly simplify the technology. Simplify the technology for an individual user, for a large enterprise, for a small business, where they can procure and get the environment that they need to run their business in a very rapid manner, on demand, and they can only pay for the resources or the services for the time they consumed. And that's what cloud offers us today.